all I ever wanted, all I ever wanted. So stay just for today. Your love is all I ever wanted, all I ever wanted. So stay. I wanna know if you feel it. 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 Her looks tell me that you still remember. She's close, but we were meant forever. Some days I wish that I had never met you. I wanna know if you feel it. Play our song. You like it when I sing along, and we can live our perfect life together. I wanna know if you feel it. Oh my God, tell me what I gotta do to get you home, baby. I wanna know if you feel it. Why don't you stay just for today? Your love is all I ever wanted, all I ever wanted. So stay just for today. Your love is all I ever wanted, all I ever wanted. So stay. I wanna know if you feel it. 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 I wanna know if you feel it.
Hello, everybody. What? Wow, that is really loud for some reason. All right, but hello. Are you still a shaggy homeless man? No. I will watch this show until I fall asleep. All right, that's cool. That's cool. All right, so today we have Mr. Caxon, or as I know him, Kazurai, on the show with us. And why does it seem like it is so loud? All right. Anyway.
I don't know.
We have Caxon, aka Kazurai, with us today. He is over here. Say hello, Kaz. You just waved. What? Now all of a sudden you're really quiet. What the hell?
Did I move away?
Hold on. What? Hold on. Alright, say something now.
Something right now.
Alright, cool. You're not much louder, but...
I don't know.
Alright, anyway. So today, as you can tell, this is the first episode of Citizen Showcase, where we talk about Star Citizen, and not only just Star Citizen, we talk about our guests and some of the people that we're going to be having on the show. A few of the people that I did have lined up for tonight, unfortunately, were not able to make it tonight, so it is just myself and Mr. Caxon, or Kazurai here. What is up, Ravage TV? How are you doing? So we have Caxon. He is a newcomer to the Twitch community, in the sense that he's really just getting his feet under him here, but he is one of my close friends, and he has been my friend for around, God, I don't even, how long has it been? Like 15 years?
Give or take, we're going on a second decade, so.
Oh God, don't even. Like the Planets demo? Yeah, the Planet demo was pretty cool. We'll talk about stuff like that. But first things first, I want to introduce Kaz and some of the stuff that he does. So what I'm going to do is, where did I actually? Okay, there it is. Kaz, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do on your channel, and I will play some highlights from your channel while you were doing
Yeah.
so?
I mean, originally I was on YouTube. I'm a little bit more familiar. I'm trying to get out of the back into learn the Twitch phase, like the difference between how you basically react while recording yourself and the difference you react while you're live and people walk in and see you. But I mean, I do a lot of. I'm trying to get back into having at least one day of horror because a lot of people like it when either you have jump scares or something like that. But a lot of times I just do a lot of fantasy and kind of the darker, like Bloodborne. I actually just got Dark Souls 3 that I might be doing. So I mean, a lot of that challenging kind of games, really. And
So-
I'm probably going to touch on Star Citizen, but I just need a little bit more content first.
So you're saying you like the spoops? You like to have a spoop
Spoops?
every good Friday night or something?
Yeah, I need to get back to doing that like Friday or like whatever day I can commit to.
I just call it Spoopy Saturday, and you're good, man. All right. So he is a new guy. If you guys have not done so or would like to actually help him grow or whatever, definitely give Caxton a follow.
I need some whatevers, man. No.
He needs some whatevers. Yeah, he needs some whatevers. All right. So with that,
Yeah,
oh shit, I should probably.
and the biggest things I'm going to be doing is going to be a lot of the new Final Fantasy stuff, new Kingdom Hearts, when it finally ever decides to show its ugly face. Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of the AAA titles that a lot of people have waited for so long for. But that's not for right now. Right now, we're just kind of having a bit of fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you said you had been waiting about 10 years or so, or what was it, 10 years for Final Fantasy 15?
A little bit after I think we maybe 4 or 5 years. I think you had just gone to that other school when it was like, dude, Final Fantasy 15. You're like, there's so many of those games. It was like, and basically it was just like, here we are now today, like a decade later, like still waiting.
Wait, hold on, no, that long ago? Because back then it was only Final Fantasy 10, so they were going to jump from 10 to 15? Or was that going to be like 11 or something, or 12?
I think they were just talking about 13 was in the production when they announced they were going to make 13 verses, and it's just been forever since. Like I know when they released a trailer for 13 verses, like back when Final Fantasy, not Final Fantasy, Assassin's Creed had first decided to be a game, and it was like still waiting. Then like just tons and tons of E3s came through, and nothing of it. And then they just decided to call it 15 and say they rebooted the whole project, and then a few more years. And now it's like it's coming out in October, November. Everyone's like, don't even.
Don't even. All right. So yeah. So guys, when you're thinking about Star Citizen and you're thinking about how long it actually takes for a game to come out, keep in mind Final Fantasy 15, 10 years in the making, and that's not even an MMO. So
Yep.
so yeah. Now, all right. Now we're gonna. That's a perfect segue to get into Star Citizen. So we're gonna talk a little bit about Star Citizen right now. With 2.6 coming up, would you be interested in actually the first person shooter in Star Citizen? I mean, when we used to play all kinds of first person shooters like Halo and Halo and Halo and
They
Halo.
had Destiny at GameStop today for $5, and I was like,
I might want it.
$5? I'm like, why is it only $5? Why do you need all the deal? $5. I don't know.
Wow, that's a great price. Oh god,
I'm
Staples.
wanting to try it because I heard. But when Destiny is now ran by the old Halo creators. I mean, Bungie, right?
Bungie and
So-
Activision, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. Part of me is like, do you want to go back to your roots? Do you?
What is this? Hold on. What is that hiding in the back there? Oh, hold on. Bloop. Oh, there we go. Sorry, there was a little white line that was bugging me. All right, so yeah, so would you be interested in the FPS that's coming into 2.6? Because I know you said you're waiting for more content.
Yeah, I would definitely try it out.
Yeah, so you'd try the FPS. Now the new flight model, You said that flying right now is a little difficult because you are a newer player to Star Citizen. What about the flight model would you like to see changed to actually make it easier for you, or do you think it's just that you don't really have like a controller that really makes flying easy for you?
I really just need to get like a little mapped out piece of paper. Just take a piece of paper and just like pin it on my wall and be like, these are your controls. Because like takeoff is this button. Nope, I just destroyed my whole interface. There we go. Chip won't move. We do.
I mean, after a while, it does get easier, but like you said, when you're first starting, the learning curve is actually pretty steep. I mean, it's not like Eve steep, where like you make one mistake and you lose everything and you're just a pod flying around forever.
Yeah. I mean, so like the casual gamer is pretty rough because like you're going to come on there and be like, okay, and then they just throw like this massive controls layout for you and you're like, how do I move?
Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show guys what happened doing your first attempt at flying, because I found it pretty freaking hilarious. It's actually in my highlights.
You still have it?
Oh yeah, it's in my highlights.
Oh my god.
So well, I mean, flying. I'm gonna let you know, flying is not exactly the easiest.
No, because I mean, I usually do like playing flight simulators. I used to play Ace Combat all the time, and it was like, all right, so I'm gonna wreck this shit. Come on, give me this pilot seat, and I was like, all right, here we go, waiting for the inverted controls and all that stuff, and I'm just like, doop. Wait, what? The drift and the no gravity is the biggest thing to get used to, I think. Because like you're not using your thrusters to stay airborne. You're basically just using your thrusters to move. So basically, like if you're trying to turn, you're not gonna just arc the ship in the direction you need to go. You're actually gonna drift. So it takes a lot of getting used to.
Here we go. I have the video up now, and everyone's gonna see what exactly your first attempt at flying was like. I found it actually pretty funny.
I never got to see it from your point of view.
You never got to see it? All right.
Not from your point of view. I remember from my point of view. I just heard you yelling. All right. Well, were you in the same ship?
So you have never flown before. It should be interesting to watch.
I can't even remember what ship it was.
I'm just gonna stand here and watch. All right, here we go. Have you gotten in your ship before?
What? Was it my ship or yours?
It was your ship.
It's right here, dude. Oh, of course. So it's probably a Mustang or something. Here.
Yep, it was the Mustang Alpha.
This little hatch.
There we go.
The bottom.
But I mean, I think the game is difficult for people who want to be casual, but people who are really going to sit down and be like, all right,
there you go.
Let's learn this. And they seriously want to take a stab at it. It's not that bad.
No, it's really not. I mean, that's the case with any game, really. Like even Eve,
How do
where
I
if you sit down and take the time to learn.
Right. I'll let you explore.
Wait, is that my ship?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very little ship, so
I don't remember it being that big.
Not much you can explore.
I've never owned a Mustang.
Yeah.
How you get now?
I mean, all I've done is basically I've took that Mustang, upgraded it to an Avenger Titan, which hopefully I'm going to upgrade
Turn left.
to something
Cockpit's
eventually.
to the left.
If I'm even going to upgrade it. I mean, the Avenger Titan's a pretty good thing to sit on, too. Nope, apparently didn't know how to get to the cockpit, so it just came back out.
Did you just die? Oh.
Right, real point laugh at the loser right there.
Look at this guy. Oh shit, he's over here.
Oh my god.
Don't crouch in your ship.
But yeah.
Oh right, didn't I kill you?
There you go.
Because you're like, alright, to take off, I'm just like,
now let's watch this. This should be entertaining.
Because I was expecting you to lift up, not go straight out.
Perfect song.
I mean,
Because normally people lift up and then start going.
So your death will be glorious.
Here you go.
Why are you aiming your gun at me?
Alright, let's just jump right in.
There
you go.
Figure out how to take off. There's actually two different ways you can.
Let the guns aimed at you.
No! That's not one of them! You just ran me over. You're gonna die.
But yeah,
now.
so Flying is an acquired ability. You don't start knowing how to fly.
Once I got into space, it wasn't too bad. It was just
Well, yeah, I mean,
that I had a wanted level or something.
yeah, because you killed me.
This was only gonna hurt if I
What
warned you.
in the world? All right, there we go. So you said 2.0 is probably, or 2.6 may interest you. What about 3.0? I know you said you've been waiting for more content and you really, really like the idea of landing on a planet. So now that you know how to take off in a ship, what about landing it on a planet? What do you think about landing on planets?
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. It's kind of wishful thinking, but I'm hoping that they might have something in terms of maybe creatures on the planet, or if not creatures, maybe just something in terms of like a material. Just anything you might be able to just get your hands on. A reason to explore the planet, not so much just ooh, what's that? Ooh, this is cool. What's that over there? Ooh, that's nice. More
what a
so
rock.
like actually you find something, pick it up, you have it, you maybe sell it, maybe not. It's just different things like that. I mean, I still have a lot of fun with planets and stuff, especially if you can land on multiple planets. It'd be interesting to check out. But I mean, I definitely would. I would try it out either way. I probably would just spend a bit more time. Like I could actually sink out the game if there was actually a reason to explore them. So I'm hoping if they don't come out with it, and if they don't come out with it in maybe like the next update or something.
All right,
So I know that's their end goal, is to get all that in there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, if you were to land on a planet, for example, what do you think will make, in your opinion, what do you think will make Star Citizen any different than No Man's Sky? If you've watched any No Man's Sky or know anything about it,
the fact that you'd be able to stand beside your friend while you're looking at the world.
Oh, true. Good point. Good point.
But well, there's life in No Man's Sky, right? Basically, things you can shoot and fight. The biggest thing is, well, they have harvesting and all that stuff.
Mr. Potato.
But I mean, the harvesting is
it.
like, I don't know. I mean, like, if you could harvest something and say, it's hard to say how they're going to do it, because I know you can do cargo and all that. So, say you started gathering up materials or whatnot from the planet, and are you just going to have piles of rubble in your ship or something like that, and you got to go get it, like, produced into containers before you actually sell it? Or are they going to take more of a simplistic route and just like, oh, I've acquired 100 stone, you now have a container in your thing representing that, or it's hard to say. But I mean, I know they're going to take it further. You're not walking around with a little ray gun disintegrating things and it just goes in your inventory.
Oh yeah,
Not to be that weird. But like I heard you said there's going to probably be like caves and stuff like that. Probably a lot more threats, really. But for No Man's Sky, I mean, it feels like it's the children's sandbox that was incompleted for what this game's trying to achieve.
What I think happened was, I think maybe No Man's Sky kind of rushed to get this planetary thing done before Star Citizen, to kind of cash in on that cash cow, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Like, Star Citizen is taking the time to do it right.
I actually looked this morning. I think there's actually lawsuits being filed against No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah, there's a lawsuit in the UK. There's a lawsuit, absolutely. There's a lawsuit in the UK for false advertisement. Because a lot of people are claiming that Sean Murray pretty much lied about everything to do with that game.
Is there going to be multiplayer? Yes.
Yeah. Well, he didn't say yes, but he didn't say no. It was the problem. And that's going to be the big issue with this lawsuit is, did he actually say these things, or were people kind of just interpreting in the way they wanted to hear it? I think that's going to be the major issue with that lawsuit, because when it comes to that kind of thing, whenever there's a gray area, the defendant kind of gets the benefit of the doubt, if you will. So I mean, I'm not saying that there should be a lawsuit. I'm not saying there shouldn't be a lawsuit. I'm just trying to keep it fair and balanced and say that maybe, yeah, he might have lied, but also there's people that took everything he said the completely wrong way, and maybe not all of it was his fault.
Oh yeah. The main thing I'm worried about with Star Citizen is I noticed they can only have like how many people on a server right now?
24.
24. What was their end goal for that? Like, how many people were they wanting to have in a server?
Oh,
I can't imagine them just having like
I can't
300,000
remember
servers.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think they said 100. Maybe, I don't remember. I can't
Yeah.
quote it exactly because I don't remember when they said it. I mean, and the numbers are constantly changing. I mean, that's the thing with a game in development. They change. Things change. So, I mean, the main thing I'm worried about with Star Citizen right now, and I don't know if you feel the same way, is something like No Man's Sky happening where people are taking what Chris Roberts is saying, because Chris Roberts has a habit of saying that he wants to do stuff, but that doesn't always mean it's possible to do that stuff. And people taking what Chris Roberts is saying and taking it to heart and really, really, really wanting it, and then getting disappointed when it's not in the game.
Oh yeah, that seems like this seems to be almost the year of disappointment, if you would. That's why so many people are like, oh, Star Citizen, that's been done before. It's like it's been tried, but they never really got it. It's like trying to create an MMORPG and just keeps making like these games where you have like 1, 2, 3 people you can dungeon with, but no open world, nothing ever. And I feel like this is the case because you can't. I mean, No Man's Sky made a single player game attempting to be kind of like what this game wants to be, but didn't you only have like one ship, a few upgrades, everything was pretty much mapped out for the whole entire game, and all the planets were just randomly generated. So it was like they only made like 2 planets, and then everything was just based off of that. Whereas, I mean, this game, I think they're going to be doing also like random generator map, but I think it's going to be more. Anyone who's ever played Minecraft before, like you load up into a new map, that world's entirely different. There's nothing similar at all to the old world. So I mean, you're gonna have all these worlds with all these different things. I'm sure they're probably gonna go in and be like, well, this world's gonna be more desert. This world's gonna be more, anything, just do different things like that. So I'm hoping that's probably gonna be kind of the way they're gonna go.
Well, yeah, I mean, they did do the entire procedurally generated with artistic touches kind of spiel at CitizenCon, where they were like, every planet's going to be procedurally generated because it's not realistically, it would be impossible for an artist to go in. I mean, it wouldn't be impossible, but it'd be so time consuming for an artist to go in and paint an entire planet. I mean, we're talking almost actual scaled planets. I mean, these things are huge for an artist to go in and do the entire thing by themselves. And that takes so much time. We'd be sitting here in 2027 still waiting for Star Citizen because the planets aren't done. So they're doing this thing they're calling procedural generation with a touch of art, where they procedurally generate the planet. And then they take these biome brushes, they're calling them, and just kind of brush over the planet with what biomes they want where, like where they want the mountains, where they want certain rocks and stuff, and like for these points of interest. Not the entire planet, because the entire planet could be procedurally generated, and then just this one little area of interest will be touched up by an artist, and then that planet's done. So
actually, 7 Days to Die actually kind of did that on a much lower graphical quality. They had like the randomly generated worlds, and they just kind of plop cities, and they would plop. I mean, they would handcraft these cities and stuff like that. But they probably did it more like they had a key, and that key had like this city, city 1, city 3, and they had all these other things that they could drop into the world, and then the rest of the world would just be randomly generated. But I'm thinking it's probably they're going to have a key. They're going to have the randomly generated or the procedurally generated world, and they're going to have another, like, the guy who they want to basically give their touch on the world and make it the way they want it to be. So that should be good.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that the randomly generated worlds with like the points of interest being painted, or the points of interest being painted by an artist is going to be a bad thing. I'm just saying that that's what it's going to be. So you're going to have areas where it's just completely random. You're not going to. There may be nothing for miles and miles and miles.
I'm telling you now, we're going to find a highly rich mineral cave, and we're gonna send in a mole, and then the rest of us are going to be on turrets sitting, waiting for anything and chase the person out and just gun it down. Anyone who has a ship that just has a couple of turrets on the side, and like, you're good to go. Just the trick would be landing it on a non-platform area.
I'm interested in how they fill the planets. Like Blinky said, it's time consuming if they do it artist driven, and with the amount of systems they have, it would take until 2050 until every system is finished. Exactly, Mr. Potato.
It's like, listen, everybody, we're going to be finishing up Ohio come this month. So we're going to be, you guys look forward to that. Next year, we're going to be finishing up Michigan. So that's something to look forward to.
Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Delaware next year.
Yeah.
We're gonna be cracking down.
they're feeling ambitious.
No. But yeah, I mean, it's not like Delaware is a really big place, but I digress. So with 3.0, we're gonna see a lot of other features added as well, and some pretty cool new ships, like the Drake Caterpillar, which is one I've personally been waiting for quite some time. I don't know if you've taken the time to actually look at that ship, because it is a pretty expensive ship, coming in at its concept price of $245.
Yep.
But I mean, we're gonna get the Caterpillar, the Dragonfly, the Ursa Rover, and I always forget the last ship.
You're going to have the Dragonfly. Like, if you're going to release planets, you'd better well give us. They're giving the Rover and the Dragonfly.
Yes, the Rover and the Dragonfly will have.
Yeah, the Rover seems like something you'd really be able to get around and not have to worry about. You know, like someone shooting at you is like, whatever. It's
Reckon Havoc, the Herald is in 2.6 though, man. 2.6 is going to give you the Herald and the Vanguard Hoplite. I can't remember what the last ship for 3.0 is. It's bugging me now. Hold on. Whoa. Alright. What the hell just happened?
I don't know what you do.
I broke it. Alright, there we go. So
we're going to be shoving the Grey Cat into certain ships and taking them to planets, and you know we're going to be playing with them.
Grey Cat?
If you can add the Grey Cat actually into the verse instead of just the hangar and that one area. That alone, we're going to be having like just giving us a planet with nothing on it. We're going to be taking the rover and basically trying to just drive it off cliffs. I mean, you know, we did this in Halo. Always in the game. If there's ramps and terrain differences, we're going to have fun either way. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I just remembered the last ship. I just bought the ship. The Constellation Aquila is going to be in 3.0. So it's the Aquila, the Dragonfly, the Caterpillar, and the Ursa Rover are going to be in 3.0. I'm really excited for the Aquila, because the Aquila is a beautiful ship. Right now it's super bugged. I was actually streaming earlier and I tried to get in it, and it launched me into a white box somewhere, and I had no idea where the hell I was.
That's a new one.
Yeah. Now, some of the other things we're going to be getting, like mining. Now, we're gonna get mining before we get the Prospector or the Orion. So that obviously that's probably going to entail hand mining. Now, do you think they're going to give us some kind of laser gun, or just go out in the world with a pickaxe? Or
Well,
how
do
do
you
you
think
think?
you have to buy that with like Alpha UAC, or maybe you just got to purchase one as a tool? Maybe. Who
Yeah,
knows, they might even do it like Black Desert did it, where like you bought a tool and it had so many uses before, and then you'd have to either replace it or repair it. So I mean, there's a bunch of different ways I guess they can do it, but I would think that the usage system, like I wouldn't think they'd just give you a pick and like you can use this till the end of the time. I think that would probably be a little abusive because you just I just have this on me at all times. I'm just we're here. Let me jump out real quick. I'm gonna mine while you're doing whatever you're doing. But
please don't. I did want Star Citizen and not No Man's Sky. Yeah, but no, I'm saying like, do you think you're gonna get like a little laser gun like in No Man's Sky, or are they gonna give you like a pickaxe where you just go out and you're like?
I want to say no because I think they feel the same way we do about No Man's Sky, and they're gonna look at that and go, no. We're gonna give you a laser pick, and what that's gonna do is basically like maybe not laser pick, but like some higher technology version of a pickaxe, and you're just going to be like picking away at the stuff. Maybe even you use a weapon. I don't know.
Do we only have the Prospector and Orion as mining ships? Yes. Right now we do only have the Orion and the Prospector as mining ships. Because I don't know why. I'm going to be honest here. I don't know why there's only 2 mining ships. I mean, there's tons and tons of cargo ships. There's tons and tons of fighters. There's quite a few exploration ships. But for the really specialized stuff, there's very few ships. So like, I mean, that's kind of like in real life, right? You don't have a whole ton of different kinds of, dump truck. You have your Mack, and you have your Peterbilt. I mean, that's really it, right? So
are they going to be adding the assassinations in 3.0?
That may come in 2.6 because that seems like it's be something they'd want in the FPS.
Right, and that seemed pretty simple. Look, they already had it down.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely did look like they have the assassinations down. I mean, they have that in all kinds of games, so that's probably something simple. They probably whipped that up fairly quickly. What's up, Tacon? Yeah, I mean, hauling, we do have kind of quite a few of them. I mean, we have the whole series. We have the constellations. We have the all kinds of ships. And for the more specialized stuff, like farming, there's one ship.
I'm wondering if you can farm on planets or you have to farm just on the ship.
Well, because due to the fact that farming is coming before the Endeavor comes out,
yeah,
you're probably going to have planetary farming. Not really sure how that's going to work, but that is still a ways off. Yes,
potatoes.
Me and my space
the pirate
potatoes.
comes up like, die, stupid farmer! God damn it.
Die, you stupid farmer!
I came back and not only did he kill me, he smushed all my crops. I control.
Yeah, one space farming ship. Yeah, that's what I meant. Tacon. So,
yeah. I'm assuming you're gonna have to farm in non-safe areas.
Probably.
But I mean, the planets are so big; it's like it'd be kind of hard to find you anyway.
Well, if they put your blips put your blips out like they have them now, where you don't have to actively scan, yeah, it's going to be easy to find somebody. But if they have it the way it is, they've shown it on some of the ATVs where you actually have to actively scan for ships or other points of interest, it might not be so easy to find somebody hiding on a planet. Like if you park your ship under a cliff or something, and the ship's flying by, they might fly right past you.
It's like it took my dragonfly like 78 miles away. how did you find me? Well, you see, the dragonfly leaves this little bit of a part in the sand, so we just followed that. It's like, God damn it. But it's interesting to see how detailed it's all going to get.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, theory crafting is a lot of fun. It is possible to buy vessels with gambling money or force it to buy with real money. You understand that question?
Well, there's going to be a gambling thing there.
Yeah, there's going to be gambling.
So maybe-
You're going to be able to gamble on racing.
I think you can just
so-
gamble with your real money anyway. So it's not like, I don't think they give you like a different currency, unless they just do like what we do in real life, where you get chips and then
tokens.
you change them in, and you change them in for the real money when you leave. But I mean, either way, it's still. Oh, like when you go to Chuck E. Cheese and you go, like, I want that ship.
Yeah.
Here's a brand new.
All right.
Sorry,
So
kid, we're sold out of those.
the real money is just for support. Oh yeah. All right. So when you're buying a ship right now, the real money you spent is only for right now. Once the game actually fully releases, you're going to be able to earn every single ship in game. Now, I don't think they're going to take away buying ships completely from the website, because once you start the game, you're going to kind of want a ship. You'll be able to acquire. Yes. You'll be able to acquire every ship in game. I mean, you can buy a lot of ships, but you're not going to be able to buy something like the Idris or the Bengal or something like that. Those you're going to have to find derelict, which is another mechanic that's going to be absolutely crazy. We don't
Steal
know
one.
what.
You can steal one.
Yeah, you could steal one if you're freaking absolutely insane.
Such a bad day.
What?
The person who owned it is such a bad day.
Well, it's the
So why did you
only
quit
the
this
UEE is actually operating the Bengals. So if you attack a Bengal, you're ready for a fight. I mean,
Oh yeah. Could you imagine that though? Like, you went to use the bathroom and you're like, "Why did you quit this game?" Don't want to talk about it.
don't want to talk about it. I lost my Bengal because I went to take a shit. No. So there was actually something I wanted to ask you about, Kaz. I don't know how much of CitizenCon you actually got to see, but during the presentation, when they were showing off the future roadmap for okay, so Chris Roberts said, all right, so the roadmap, they kind of put things in there that kind of gave hints as to what was going to happen, and then like probably what was in the future. So now I don't know if you were around when they said that the Banu Merchantman was going to be released after Squadron 42 was released. Now, if you looked at the roadmap, the Banu Merchantman was in the roadmap. It was, I think it was in 3.3 or 3.4. So do you think that means that Squadron 42 will be out before 3.3? Or do you think that's just them saying that they're going to have the ship ready by then, and if Squadron 42 is out by then, it's out by then. If it's not, well, we kind of lied about the Banu Merchantman.
It's hard to say. I mean, I'm not saying they're not going to release it by 3.3, but I mean, I know there's a lot more to getting the game out than just the ship. So, I mean, the ship could just be a fundamental part into getting everything ready. And whereas the ship might be ready first, they might still have some bugs that they haven't thought about that come along to keep them from releasing the game when they want to.
Well, the thing
There's
is,
a lot of time, though. That's a lot of time to iron some stuff out.
They said that the Banu Merchantman isn't actually in Squadron 42. That's why it was going to be coming out after Squadron 42 released.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking maybe that since it was on the roadmap for 3.3, they'd have Squadron 42 done before 3.3. I just wanted to know your opinion on it. All
What I'm
right.
curious about is with Squadron 42, what do you think happens when Squadron 42 is released and yet Star Citizen itself as a whole is not finished? Do you think that's
Well,
going to speed production up?
Well, yeah. What they've said is that when Squadron 42 is released, the people that were working on Squadron 42 are then going to move over to Star Citizen. They're going to finish that up, and then when Star Citizen is done, they're going to switch back and get cracking on episode 2. I believe that's what they said. I may be mistaken, but I am absolutely almost 100% sure that is pretty much what's going to happen.
Yeah, the people from Squadron 42 come over like, what are you guys even doing? Like, this should be done. They just like hammer shit out really fast.
Well, yeah, I mean, because right now there's 300 developers, right?
Oh,
You got to imagine, right, that half of them are working on Squadron 42, half of them are working on Star Citizen, right? Or some semblance of that.
Yeah.
Because right now they're not developing one game, they're developing 2 completely different games. I mean, yeah, they're based in the same universe, they're going to use they're going to use all of the same assets, but they're 2 completely different games. They're standalone games. So, I believe that's another reason I think things are kind of being slowed down a little bit. Shit. Alright, so I think no, we got about 15 minutes until we open it up for questions, and then we move on to I don't know, just random bullshit talk. Alright, so on Around the Verse today, they talked about the Polaris. Now, they pretty much were clarifying what its role was going to be. And that's a good point, Mr. Potato. It's more like 3 games if you count Electronic Access. Now, they clarified more of what its role was going to be, and they actually showed some interior shots of the actual white box. It's already in white box, apparently. So I'm thinking that Polaris might come out not soon, but within the next couple, maybe half a year or so. Now, what do you think of the Polaris itself? Do you think that the naming, like I have said in a couple of my streams, is maybe a little bit wrong? Or just give me your opinions on the ship itself, and what do you think its role is going to be?
Well, I mean, I love the ship the way it is. Not too sure on what the name was meant to be, but I mean, the name aside, I mean, I think it's going to be a really good. I guess would you consider like a Corvette sort of style ship? It's going to have. I mean, you're going to have you can have ships, and you said what, like up to 4, like Avenger Titan size ships that could fit in there or something like that.
In the Polaris, no, it's 1 ship.
Oh, just 1.
Yes.
Okay. But it's 1 ship up to like a certain size.
Saber, yeah.
Okay, that's not that bad. But I mean, it seems like it really did a great job being, kind of like almost like that large Corvette fighter style ship with all the. How many turrets did it have on it? I mean, as long as you got the crew to man it.
It had 5 man turrets and a remote man turret.
A remote man.
And an automated turret. So the remote man turret is someone in the cockpit controlling it via a computer screen.
Okay, so I mean, you still need the crew to work it.
Yeah.
If you get a full crew to work that ship, it's going to be, God, it's something you don't want to pass on a bad day. Because it's just, I mean, like, if you're just cruising along, I mean, if you decide to attack it, you might be a little better off than, it deciding to attack you. But still, I mean, with all that firepower coming your way, I'm not sure what you're going to do again. And I'm sure you're going to have to unload. Your weapons are probably going to have to overheat about several hundred times before this thing finally gets blown up. So, I mean, if you're just a fighter, I don't think you have a chance in hell. I mean, unless maybe the person piloting is just a pilot, in which case you have a chance. But a lot of people that like using ballistic weaponry might not even have the. So who knows?
Yeah, that's a good point. Someone like myself who pretty much exclusively uses ballistic weapons.
Yeah, I prefer
if I come across something like a Polaris or an Idris, I'm running the fuck away because I don't have enough ammo to take those things down. I mean, maybe if I'm flying something like a Gladiator where I have a ton of missiles and 2 torpedoes, I might be able to do it, but
I mean, you would probably need
I'd have to get really lucky.
friends. You probably need a small little squad of fighters to even take that down.
Yeah.
And even then, probably you're not all going to walk away from that.
Yeah, probably. Now, the reason I brought up the naming was because the way they named these ships. I mean, if you look at it, you have the Javelin, which is kind of your this. It's called a destroyer, but it's more like a battle cruiser or battleship. And your Polaris, which is called a corvette, is more like a destroyer because of all the torpedoes and the turrets and everything. And then your Idris is pretty much the same. But if you shoot the turrets down with ballistic weapons and stick behind it, would it be able to defend itself despite the fighter in the hangar?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably ways you can outsmart, depending on once you determine like what's inside of it in terms of crew. You start to determine, you know, what. I mean, obviously, I'm assuming if you blow up Manning, they're probably gonna die. If not, like if it just throws them back into the ship, then they might just jump on a different turret. I mean, it's hard to say. If it's a fully, I mean, you could be one hell of a pilot to really avoid all that firepower and then disable all the weapons and then, you know, play it safe from behind with if you might have a weapon that can just recharge. Which is it'd probably be a good idea to have a weapon that recharges like that. But even then, it might be another 5 hours before you take it out using that weapon. And that's if the person doesn't just decide to bail. So it's I don't know. When I see these huge ships that are coming out with the massive amounts of. Oh, am I cutting out?
Yeah, you are.
Might have to lean forward more. It might just be my mic not picking up voice activation. Just let me know if that's any better. But I mean, and just for a single fighter, I'm just not sure how they can take out these big, massive ships that they're releasing. Because I mean, I'm sure they're being released with like, you know, probably dozens more armor and dozens more shields than these fighters have, and designed to fight up against. So. It's hard to say because I mean, because I mean, like a Polaris might even have a shield regenerates faster than a ship's lasers can be fired. I mean, who knows? It's hard to say.
Yeah. Now, when you say that you're just gonna like kind of nimbly fly around the Polaris, take out all its weapons and everything, you gotta keep in mind the Polaris, it isn't an Idris. It's not going to be slow. It's not going to be clunky. It's going to be more nimble. It's going to be a much, much quicker kind of capital ship. I mean, it's meant to be fast, and agile. So, I mean, when you say you want to take out the turrets, I mean, yeah, you could probably do it, but it's not going to be very easy whatsoever. I mean, nothing about taking this ship out is probably going to be very easy, because it is a capital ship. It is a capital class.
I know if somebody does it, there's going to be one hell of a video online about them doing it.
Yeah, a single person taking out a Corvette in a fighter.
In a Mustang. What? It's
Yeah.
like, wait, the video is an hour and 45 minutes. Shit.
And the Polaris wasn't fighting back. Yeah, they were all asleep. Woo! 5 viewers, you did it. This is my first podcast, so I mean, I wasn't expecting a ton of people. I really wasn't. I was just really. This is just me testing what the format's really going to be like. I'm not too interested in how many viewers are actually watching because there's always going to be the VOD for people to go back and watch if they want to. Now, we're going to open it up here for questions. You probably don't even have to really, do the whole question thing. I have that set up for when it gets a little more crazy. Oh, hold on. I typed it wrong. There we go. Now, if you have any questions, type question or ask like it says in there, or just go into the Discord. I like this format, maybe a bit earlier. Yeah. The thing is, on a Thursday, it's a work day here in the US, so a lot of my guests won't be able to come on earlier. I mean, I could probably get some of the European people on earlier, and I could do an earlier version of this with European people. But I don't know, again, I don't know if Kaz will be able to, because he's going to be pretty much my co-host for this entire thing. Obviously, some weeks,
if I can, to go right ahead and try it solo, because I mean, I'm not sure about Thursdays and all that stuff. So
well, yeah, with the jobs and everything, it does get pretty difficult. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about other games. So there's a bunch of games coming out that aren't Star Citizen, and I was interested to know, other than Final Fantasy 15, which you've talked about before, what do you think is the most interesting game to you? What do you or actually no, hold on. Let me go back a little bit. So now that space games are kind of becoming a very popular thing, Call of Duty has decided to jump on the bandwagon. What do you think?
No. They're not going to be able to. No, I mean, they're not going to be able to hold up, because all they're going to do is they're going to apply their Battlefield style gameplay into the space combat, and that's all it's going to be. And I mean, for people who just want a dogfight and stuff like that, it's probably going to be satisfying to a point. But I mean, I would be a little bit more hopeful if I saw a game like Ace Combat releasing a new gem to the series, like Star Combat, or just something out of the blue that's actually a game that's used to doing that sort of thing. But I mean, a game like that, I'm not. It's just the same game repolished over and over. For the most part, they're trying to add a little bit of new content in there, but for the most part, it's not very catchy.
Well, okay, so when a game like Call of Duty is kind of forced to make a new game every year, do you think that they suffer because that they have to make a new game every single year? Well, now granted, the games are kind of beginning their process 4 or 5 years in advance, and then the way they have it set up is they're finishing every year. But do you think they're suffering because every year they do have to have a new one coming out, and they can't take the time to kind of polish, add new content or something like that because they're just constantly having to push something out?
Yeah, the more they're expected to release their games, the worse it is. Because, I mean, I kind of praised Ubisoft a little bit because they decided they were releasing Assassin's Creed like every 1-2 years, and they were like, Syndicate came out, and everyone was like, "This game's good, kind of, I guess." And they're like, "You don't love it?" And they're like, "Not really." And they're like, "Okay, we're not gonna release a game next year, and we're just gonna take some time to try to revise our games and see if we can't make something more appealing to the fans of the series." Because I mean, the fans of the series are there. It's just they're not even liking their own product anymore. So it's like, just like, I mean, the Call of Duty, I mean, all there is in Call of Duty anymore is the competition. If there's no competition, the game just falls flat on its face. It's pretty, I guess, but That's about all. And Dual Universe?
Yes, Mr. Potato is asking about Dual Universe, which is kind of like what Star Citizen is trying to do, except they're doing it a completely different way. It's going to be a game where the players make the rules for the game. You're going to be able to create your own economy, your own rules, your own safe zones, and stuff like that. It's going to be very interesting, in my opinion. I don't know if you've actually seen anything on this game, Kaz. Have you?
I haven't. No.
Yeah. If you haven't seen anything on this game, I definitely recommend checking it out, because it could be a very good holdover for Star Citizen, and while we wait for Star Citizen, because I'm gonna be honest here. When Squadron 42 comes out, a lot of us are going to beat it within a week. Not even. Maybe. It's going to be... We're going to get it, and we're not even going to sleep. We're just going to get it, we're going to play it. Screw work, I'm calling out, and we're done.
Citizen fans are a little too hungry for content right now. You give them some content, they're going to chew through that faster than...
Well, when we have a game for 2 years... the hangars came out 2 years ago. Now, granted, it was just a hangar. We could just walk around and look at our ships. I mean, that was cool. That was cool as hell. But we couldn't really do anything. And then they gave us Arena Commander. And that changed everything. So when we got Arena Commander, we could actually go in and dogfight in our ships. And that was cool for a while, maybe about a couple months. And then for a year, it was just that. Just Arena Commander. I mean, they were still making updates, they were still adding ships, new concept sales and everything. So there was hype going on, but we were getting just a little bit of content here and there. Nothing really mind-blowingly awesome. And then, finally, at the end of last year, yeah, Free Flight and Arena Commander was awesome. Just spend hours and hours in Free Flight talking to people. And then finally, at the end of last year, we got 2.0. 2.0 is really kind of what changed the game up to this point. I don't know if you were... No, you definitely weren't around before 2.0. So when 2.0 came out, we got ArcCorp, which is actually one of my favorite places just to hang out and chill. And we got Crusader, which everybody knows now. I do have some videos of Crusader. I can't really show them right now because, well, they're not ready to be shown. They're really just raw videos of, there's nothing on it. It's just not even any sound. There's no sound on them. So yeah, I mean, content for the longest time, we just didn't really have any, and we kind of still have. I mean, we have content, but the content is so limited. We're just to the point where it's like, I'm going to do the ICC missions again, I guess. So, I mean, Dual Universe will probably be a really, really good thing for us. When Squadron 42 comes out, I mean, I'll probably play through it like 3 or 4 times, depending on how good the story is. Because I'm thinking, judging by what they've been showing us in the Lore Maker's Guide to the Galaxy, I don't know if you've seen those guys, have you?
I don't think so.
The lore they're giving us in those videos, I'm thinking the story's gonna be freaking fantastic. Plus, all the games Chris Roberts has made in the past, all the story modes in that were fantastic. So, Squadron 42, I have high hopes for with that acting crew.
All those actors, yeah. That's gonna be hard to mess that up.
Well, some people would find a way.
I mean, I guess if you locked all the actors into contract and then docked their pay, maybe. But it's like, why are they all not acting very well? Oh, they're just doing it as spite. But I mean, with that crew that I saw, I mean, a lot of those actors, they're not really doing many movies anymore. But I mean, the ones they did, shit.
Well,
it's kind of like
actually, a funny story about that is when Chris Roberts announced Star Citizen, I think Mark Hamill might have called him, or I think it might have been Chris Roberts called Mark Hamill. He's like, I'm working on a game. And before he even finished the sentence, Mark Hamill was like, yes, I'll do it. I bet Derek could mess it up. He could. But yeah. I mean, Chris Roberts has that kind of reputation where, I mean, really famous people like Mark Hamill, like, without even really knowing what it was like, I'll do it.
What's funny is it's kind of nice too, because I mean his career is kind of re-kicked back off.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Completely nothing for a long. He was just doing like voices for this, that, and the other, and then it's just like, oh hey, you're back into a AAA movie again. One of the biggest space fandoms ever created. It's like you're gonna, and it's like okay, and then like hey, at that point they're like, hey, you want to do the voice act? Yeah, sure. It's
Your
like,
voice is
that's pretty
cutting out again there, sir. I don't know if it's
I'm not sure if it's that or
it might be
not too
Skype.
sure.
I don't know what it is, but I don't know.
Something got louder for a second.
Oh, it's because I turned on my mic on Skype.
Oh, that would be why.
But yeah, I think it might be something to do with Skype, because I'm actually using Skype to get Kaz, because there's no way to actually mute his sound on Skype. I think it might be causing issues.
Well, mine's muted now, so I'm not sure why.
I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I mean with Mark Hamill, Gillian Anderson, and all of those great actors, John Rhys Davies, Liam Cunningham, just a huge list of like A-flight actors. I mean, yeah, Mark Hamill hadn't really done any movies for a while, but it's still freaking Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. So, I mean, come on. Now, it's going to be really hard to mess up Squadron 42. I mean, going just way back with the Wing Commanders and the Star Lancers and the Freelancers and just all the games Chris Roberts has made, the story has just been a sticking point for me. Like, I played the shit out of Star Lancer. That was my game on Dreamcast. Yes, I played Dreamcast.
Now, Dreamcast was awesome. That's where I
Dreamcast was
played-
probably one of my favorite systems, to be honest.
I know I'm thinking Sega Saturn, but Dreamcast was good.
Yeah, the
Jet
Dreamcast
Set
with
Radio.
Jet Set Radio.
Yep.
Jet Set Radio, Power Stone, Star
Power
Lancer, Armada. I mean, it had some good ones on there.
It actually just kind of hit me. If Squadron 42 does good, what's to say they don't decide to make a sequel or another, add on to the universe, so to speak?
I'm 28.
I'm 30.
Yeah, so I mean, we're not young. I know I don't look 28. People tell me that shit all the time. But so what was I about to say? Oh, Squadron 42, if it does good, I mean, even if it doesn't do good, they already committed to episode 2 and 3. This is going to be a trilogy. They've
Okay,
already
cool,
said
cool.
it's going to be a trilogy.
That's good to know that they're already going to have like that much story laid out. Because I mean, like this is like how Halo did when it first started and ended. It was like that can't be it. And I was like, no, it's not it.
Yeah, the original Halo. Oh man. I played so much Halo for like, oh my god. When did the Xbox, the original Xbox came out in 2000? I think 1999,
Yeah, I think so.
2000.
That game kind of started the fucking around in multiplayer. It's like when you got nothing left to do. It's like killing each other has gotten so boring. We're now like using sword glitches to climb up walls and exploding warthogs 7,000 miles in the air to land landed either over this one ledge or on top of a ledge.
Yeah, and running into a corner for 5 minutes and then jumping backwards to bounce like 10 million miles in the air. Stuff like
I remember
that.
that one. It's
So-
gonna be like that or worse once we get planets. I can tell you that now.
Oh yeah.
Hunt of
I mean,
glitches.
people already do it in Star Citizen. Like, if you go back and watch one of my, hold on, let me see if I can find that highlight.
Oh yeah, but I
um,
mean, think about it. That's just stars. That's just the space stations and stuff. It's like think about planets. They're gonna find like little sensitive spots. It's like jump on this spot right here, boom, or something like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. All right. I mean, like when I tried, I was doing something yesterday. Oh no, yeah, the other day I was running into the corner, jumping, and I was landing on an invisible wall. You saw me do it. I was already doing stuff like that because it just got that kind of. It just got to the point where we're so starved for content, we're finding ways to entertain ourselves, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I mean, we need stuff to do.
It's where the real bug testers come in.
Yeah, that's how we find bugs. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. Here we go. Here's the highlight I was talking about. So what? That's not what I wanted. There are amazing spots you can check out through bugs. That's true. That's true. Is this what I wanted? No? Maybe? I don't know what's going on. Anyway. Maybe we won't see my, my glitches. Oh god, that's from a long time ago, before I even had a green screen. Alright, so... yeah, R-Corp does have a lot of bugs. And it has a lot of buggies, too. So if you were to kind of rate the games that are coming out within the next couple months and then all of or what we know of 2017, how would you kind of rate them, like in just like level of hype? For me, I mean, Star Citizen is number one no matter what.
Well, Star Citizen has the most potential, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, as of right now, it doesn't scale too high, but a lot of the games that are coming out, there's a lot of fandoms that are behind them. Final Fantasy's fans have kind of diminished a little bit. 15 is going to make or break the series, and then what's really going to make or break the series is going to be the Final Fantasy VII remake, because they're having to go back to the game that did the best and redo that perfectly. If they don't make that perfect, it's going to fall flat on its face. Other than that, there's like the God of War was it was diminishing over time. It just kept releasing the same kind of hack slash. So now they're trying something completely new. So there's a lot of games that are taking new approaches and trying to basically be the new approach to the game, if it would. I'm not sure. I can't remember. There was so many other games that I was either anticipating or that I knew about that were coming out, and for the life of me, I can't remember some of them now.
Here, I'll get you
Probably.
a list of some of the games.
I mean, I'm kind of hyped about it's Kojima or something. Basically, the producer who left Konami, who was basically the one behind Metal Gear and pretty much like all the good games. Konami, like he left because for whatever reason they just wouldn't get along, the company and him, and he's going to be releasing his own games now, and kind of hyped about that because apparently he was like everything about it, but the company kept basically stopping him from doing what he wanted to do, and it pissed the fans off. So that's basically the way that all went down.
All right, so some of the games coming out in 2017, we have For Honor, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Be interesting
Mass-
to see what Ghost Recon does again.
Mass Effect Andromeda, Halo Wars 2, Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord,
Never heard of that
Divinity Original Sin 2, State of Decay 2. I was really excited for State of Decay, and then I saw it was single player. I mean,
Maybe they're trying to fix their mistake.
it's like single player zombie game. What?
I mean,
Single player zombie game. What?
I mean, I guess it could be really good if you do it right, but
Kingdom Come Deliverance. Yep, that's coming out in 2017. I have never really looked into it.
I haven't.
It's a first-person realistic RPG that'll take you to medieval Europe.
Very
That
different.
sounds interesting.
There's a lot of VR stuff that's coming.
What's up, Driz?
I'll do.
Now, I mean, I don't really get too hyped for a lot of games anymore. Because
We've all grown numb.
pretty much, which is a sad thing because man, when I was younger, even though the games back then weren't really at the I don't want to say the level they are now because a lot of the games coming out are absolute shit. I'm going to be honest. Like they are bad. Back then, you could expect a good game. I mean, it wasn't the prettiest. You weren't going to get like super realistic graphics, but you could expect good, entertaining gameplay. For whatever reason now, in my opinion, I don't know if you think this as well, Kaz, but a lot of games push games out way too early, call them early access, and then just never finish the game. They get all the money from the early access, and then they're just, all right, we're out, we're done, we got what we needed.
That's basically what a lot of them are doing. I mean, there's a few games that are actually breaking away from that somewhat. I mean, they're still kind of doing it, but they happen to be pulling it off pretty well anyway because of who they had on the team. That's partially why I'm so hyped for Final Fantasy 15 because, I mean, that was back when I still actually could hype games. And now it's like everything along the way that kind of made me was like, I'm waiting for this. I was like, the last game I was so hyped for, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I was so hyped for it. I was like, I had that shit pre-ordered and I was gonna get it, and I got it, and I'm like, this game's awesome. This game's great. And then an hour went by, and then I realized I was doing the same thing over and over. I was like, well, and it's like for any Assassin's Creed fans, that's what you did in the last 4 games over and over, just with its own spin. So, I mean, that was the last game I was really hyped for, and this time, this game's been in production for, like I said, 10 years. It's going to be trying new things. Then there's going to be some other games that are coming out that I would be hyped for, but I'm not really anymore.
I find it kind of sad that it's really hard for video game fans, like people like us who grew up playing video games, to really get hyped. I mean, maybe it's because we're getting older and we've seen kind of how video games have kind of evolved, and we're not really liking the way it's going, or if it's just that there's nothing really exciting happening. I mean, we got Star Citizen, we have Dual Universe. I mean, we do have some pretty cool games. But it's just really hard to get hyped for some of these games.
I don't know if it's our fault. Maybe we just want too much, or if it's the producer's fault. Because I know a lot of kids will just take the games, like, they release Call of Duty, and everyone's like, "This game's awesome," and it's like, why? What about it's awesome? And then
exactly.
Have,
that's why I was thinking maybe because we were younger, we were finding these games a lot more entertaining because we didn't have expectations. We were like, all right, we took the games for what they were instead of what they should have been, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, we I don't know. It's hard to.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like, it could be us. I mean, it could be we were so used to having, oh, this is new, this is like this, and we're so used to having that. This is new, this is cool, we like this. This is new, this is cool, we like this, and then it's like, this isn't new. I don't like it. I don't know if that's our fault or if that's just the producer's fault. I have no idea. But I mean, a lot of times they do say that the companies will rush the producers, and the producers wanted to do more with it, and then they stop and delete some of the work they were going to do because they want it released. So, I mean, it's a lot of the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. There was something I was going to say, but yeah, because back when I was a kid, I remember like waking up 5 a.m. on a weekend. Like 5 a.m. on a weekend. Rolling out of bed, turning on my NES. God. No, not even NES. It was a. Yeah, it was an NES. It wasn't even Super NES. It was an NES Nintendo. I'm playing Bubble Bobble. 5 a.m. Like, just playing Bubble Bobble all day. Like, games just can't really do that for me anymore. Like, I can't get excited to wake up in the morning to play a video game. This is just not really anything that does that for me.
I was waking up for a little bit, trying to check on my fish and my gardens. And then I go back to bed.
Oh my god. You and your potato farms. Or no, strawberries, sorry.
Shit, I hadn't even logged in there today. See, it's already fading for me.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of games nowadays, I'm finding, like, once you get to the end game, once you're done the story, once you get to the, maybe not the max level, but kind of close to the max level, the games just get boring. Because there's not enough to do. Kind of like the way Star Citizen is now, unfortunately. Because, well, the game's in development, I understand that. But we're starved for content. And a lot of end games, a lot of MMO end games, were kind of starved for content. Because either they didn't develop it with that in mind, they kind of developed a game to, hey, here's a game with a cool story to get up to the max level, and then once you're the max level, you can do this.
Yeah, when someone tells me that the end game is raids, and I'm like, okay, so what do the raids give me? Much better gear. Well, that's great. What do I do with my better gear? You can do the raids easier. That's not an answer. That's not an answer.
Well, you can PvP. All right. What if I don't feel like PvPing? Well, you can do the raids faster. Like,
I mean, if it wasn't for like real life people actually admiring what you drive, it's like, oh, I have a minivan. Okay. Well, if you earn up enough money, you can get a Lamborghini. What can I do with my Lamborghini? You can still follow the rules of the road, and every day throughout the day. Oh.
Video games in a nutshell.
But I mean, I feel like Star Citizen is putting more stepping stones between you and the end game, which is trying to hang out in the different ships.
Star Citizen? That's the thing. Like, okay, so I'm gonna go a little nerd here, even more nerd than I normally am.
Oh boy!
I was watching Sword Art Online, and one of the funniest. Actually, it wasn't even Sword Art Online. It was Sword Art Online Abridged, and one of the funniest comments I have ever heard, and it's true, and it should always be true, was the dude that came down was like, alright, so I want you to beat the game and then you could go free. And one of the guys in the crowd goes, so you want us to beat an MMO? And the guy goes, yeah. And the guy in the audience goes, "Fuck you!" Because it should not be possible. There should be no end game.
It'd be funny as it gets to the point where you sort of, well, by what? There wasn't supposed to be an answer. But yeah, I mean, I can understand.
The end game being like Blinky. That is for you, man. It's game over already. It's game over, man. No, the end game, like Star Citizen, I don't think is really gonna have an end game because it's gonna be.
I could
What's the
probably
end
see
game?
them have maybe some kind of a guild battle sort of thing, or like planetary wars or something like that. That
Well-
might be something they do, but
But like, yeah, okay. So you get all the ships you want. Okay.
yeah.
Actually, that's actually a fairly good question. Once you get all the ships you want, like you earn up all the money you need to get all the ships you want, then what?
And then they announced that they're releasing a new ship next month.
God damn
I mean,
No, I mean,
I guess it's just the point of view. I mean, like different ships, you get to feel the game through a different angle, I guess. But it's hard to really keep that going. I mean, they might be able to keep producing things to keep it from reaching an end game, but maybe not. It's hard to say.
So you're saying that once we get all the ships we want, we just pretty much have to wait, or what you think we're gonna have? Okay, so what you think is once we get to end game, which means we have all the ships we want, or pretty much all the ships that we can get,
Yeah.
and we're just gonna have to wait for them to release a new ship. Or
Well, I mean, they're still very much building the game. And I call this wishful thinking. A game that I actually like a lot, and I don't know why, but I just haven't gone back to it in a little while. But I love it for its production speed, and I'm hoping Star Citizen reaches this once the game's foundation is laid and they have everything they basically have built everything that they're trying to do. But for anyone who's ever played Warframe, they're releasing content on a nearly bi-weekly level. I'm not sure if they still are. I haven't been back to them in a while. It's been a little bit. But I mean, every time I stop playing for a little while, I come back and it's a whole new game. I'm like, what? Like, literally, I go to play it, I'm just like, what am I doing anymore? I would love Star Citizen to get to that point where, like, they've built the game, they built the plants, they got the mining, they got the farming, they got the outlaw system, they got all that done. You have your NPCs, you have your creatures on planets, they have the things you can fight, like enemies and nomads and stuff like that. And then they just start releasing content, just stuff to add into the game to make it better and better and better and better. And they might change things here and there on the way and make those things better. And that'd be really cool to see happen. Even if it's not on a bi-weekly scale, even like a monthly scale, which it seems like it kind of is on a monthly scale. They're just still building a lot of foundation stuff. So, I mean, because they released content so fast, it made your head spin.
they still are.
Yeah, I mean, everyone keeps telling me I need to go back and try it again, and I just haven't.
Yeah, I mean, because at one point I had every single Warframe you could possibly get. I went back like 2 months later. I was like, "There's 3 new Warframes." Like, and the way you move is completely changed.
Hey,
And there's a whole bunch of new enemies. And there's this weird thing that you can poop
You
out
can have
that
cats
shoots
now.
a giant fucking laser beam.
Alien
Like, okay.
cats.
Yeah, and there's cats, and I was like, what in the hell? Alright,
Oh,
well, what's up, Turbo Sud? How you doing, man? So, I mean, yeah, if they do something like Warframe, where they could pretty much, I mean, I don't want to say change the game with each patch, but just add something that'll make the game feel newer. That'd be good, because I'm afraid of once we get to end game, it's kind of going to be like any other really MMO where I just get bored after a couple months. or not even a couple months, maybe like a month. Like, for example, Star Wars The Old Republic. You get to the max level, you do the raids, you get the best gear you can get, then what? You PvP. Or you craft. I mean, that's it.
You do raids easier.
You can do raids easier. And then the next patch comes out,
Yeah.
is like, what they add? Oh, new raid, we dropped your gear level, and now you have to go farm more gear. So it's like, oh, yay, I gotta do it all over again. And it's gonna take me a couple months. And then once we get it all done, guess what? A new patch comes out, and my gear sucks again. So, it's like, that drove me nuts about Star Wars The Old Republic, and that's kind of why I drifted away from it, because I got tired of doing the same things over and over again, just because I needed to get better gear. And for no reason. I mean, honestly, you could probably just start playing the game right now and get to the max level, and you can get the best gear within like maybe 2 months or so if you have a nice group of people. That's what I'm really afraid of in Star Citizen is you find a really nice group of people, they lend you some UEC, you get all the ships you want, and then you're bored.
Yeah, that'd be a thing. But I mean, at the same time, what really kept us playing, I mean, building aside, I mean, you take the building out of Minecraft, you take the building out of 7 Days to Die, it's still kind of fun to explore. I mean, there with things chasing you, I mean, there could even be a survival aspect on a planet. Like, say you're on a very volatile planet with, you know, horrible creatures that live on the surface, and it's like maybe you have to survive in the aspect of maybe you can just go on your ship, try to survive in there, or maybe you can find shelter somewhere that's been, you know, created, parts that were artistly created by, you know, the designers. I mean, obviously you don't want to have like probably not a building aspect, because you don't want to start drifting towards Minecraft or a sandbox creator game. But I mean, there could be a whole bunch of different things. Small things like that would add a whole lot of hours of content for people who there's no end game to that. It's just fun to do.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The last thing I do not want, or the last thing I want in Star Citizen, is to see a bunch of half-built buildings on a planet that look absolutely shitty, or like a giant freaking penis. Like, I don't want to see that kind of shit in Star Citizen. I absolutely do not want to see that kind of thing. Like, you see a lot of that in Minecraft, you see a lot of it in 7 Days to Die. I mean, well, yeah, it's kind of funny, I guess. That's not really. It's what?
It's like this is my world. Please stop. This is the world I've come to love.
I just heard you want a giant freaking penis in Star Citizen. No, I don't want a giant freaking penis in Star Citizen. If I wanted one of those, I'd go get a freelancer. But
it's already been dubbed that there's going to be a sand planet, and there's a sand pit that sucks you, and it's going to be called the sand vagina.
What?
The sand vagina.
Oh, yeah.
Don't fall in there.
Oh, no, oh man, I'm getting pretty tired.
Just take that one ship that already looks like a penis and just aim it up at the sky and then just let it sit.
Too late, contractors have been
There
paid.
you go.
But no, I mean, yeah, I'm worried about the end game in Star Citizen, because they haven't, well, to actually talk about the end game, you have to really build up to the end game, because once you get to the, I mean, to get to an end game, you gotta have a game, right? We don't really have a game yet.
No.
So we can't really make a conjecture as to what the end game is actually going to be. Just put some balls at the Terra Tower and you have your giant freaking penis. God damn it, guys. I didn't want one.
There's a ship already that looks like that, I think, when it flies around.
Yeah, the freelancer we affectionately call the donger. Thank you for the host, Moonshiners.
Oh.
All right, so now that we've talked about the end game and what that's going to be, I kind of want to circle back to the very beginning where I asked you what about, or no, I haven't even asked you what about Star Citizen, or what do you want to do in Star Citizen? Because there's going to be so many different jobs. There's going to be so many different things. Well, yes, you can do everything. There's going to be some things where you're just going to want to do more often than others. So, what do you think that would be?
I mean, from what I know, it's gonna be so far in terms of like how the. I mean, I'm not even sure all the things they're gonna have for content, but from what I've heard that is gonna be in the game, I mean, the biggest thing I'm probably gonna want to do is, I mean, I'm gonna be starting small. I mean, by small, I mean an Avenger Titan. That's my only ship right now, so I'm gonna be taking my ship out, landing it probably on a planet, and most likely just going to town on getting stuff, loading up the ship, and basically taking it to wherever I might have to take it to sell it, and then just repeat. I mean, if I just keep doing that, it's probably going to get boring. So, I mean, I'm probably going to try to mix it up a little bit here and there, and maybe do like public trade runs and stuff like that. But, I mean, I'm going to do that for a while, get a feel for it, and just see how it feels to just kind of make a steady rate of money. My ship, I think, only has, 3 months insurance? So I'll probably purchase more insurance with that money and just see how much profit I make doing such things, and see if I actually can afford other ships. And then once I start being able to afford more ships, I'm probably going to do different things once I can break away from that. So, I mean, I guess the best way to describe it is you start with your ship, you pick your job, and then once you've earned up enough money to kind of promote yourself, I guess is the best way to put it. You promote yourself to being able to do the job better or more quickly, or you can carry more cargo, or maybe you promote yourself to the point where you purchase a completely different ship that does a whole different line of work. It's hard to say, but that's where I'm going to start, and then it's just probably going to go from there and to see what I can do from there.
That's a good answer. I like that answer because that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. Like, I do have a bunch of different ships, right? I have my Polaris, I have my Starfarer, I have my Crucible. They're 3 completely different ships. That's a combat ship, a repair ship, and a refueling ship. I mean, they don't do the same thing at all. None of them. So I'm going to really kind of just pick and choose what I want to do in the beginning here because I do have a bunch of different ships. Now, us being backers so early in the game, we kind of have that option. But for people who are starting out when the game first releases, the people or latecomers to the party who might not have the kind of the benefits of backing early that we got, they're gonna really have to kind of.
I'm hoping they at least have an aura to choose from.
They're really no. I mean, once after they get past the Aurora stage, they're really gonna have to kind of pick what they want to do. If they enjoyed hauling the cargo in the Aurora, maybe they continue up the cargo hauling tree, maybe to a Avenger Titan, then maybe a Freelancer, or once you get to the Freelancer, then you can kind of start making enough money to like kind of pick and choose what you want to do next. But I mean,
right.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see some of the paths, the what I call yellow hats, or the new players, or the kind of people that haven't really played Star Citizen or really have backed it early, kind of choose, because I know what I would do if I were in their shoes, but it would be interesting to see what the people coming once the game is released are going to do. That is what I think is going to be probably one of the more entertaining things to watch, because like I showed when I was teaching, well, I didn't really teach you how to fly, but when I was kind of instructing you on how to fly, that's the kind of stuff we're going to be seeing a lot. I mean, we already see it when we have the free fly weeks, the people coming in and trying to learn how to fly. It's really entertaining to watch. It's really entertaining to watch, but
yeah. Curious to see how that's gonna work, because the way they said like your character is your character, but when it dies, you're like dead, and you have like, wasn't that what they were saying? It was that you, when you die, you'll have like your offspring take your place or something like that. And I was just like, how? Like, okay, my child is now in my place, but you're still you. You're still the aging water. So I was like, I don't understand how that would work. Especially when like accidents happen, you get up out of bed, you slip, fall on your face, and your character dies. Like glitch. Sorry. I'm gonna message the game like, hey, my character died slipping on a can. Can you fix this? Well, since you've already progressed to your offspring, no. It's hard to
That
say
is
how
going
it's
to be
all
pretty
work.
interesting because if you die to a bug, man, that's got to be super frustrating.
Or if a ship
don't know.
blows up and you don't have insurance.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, all right, we're taking off.
Oh, I think Chris Roberts has actually said that it's going to give you plenty of warnings when you go to take off. I mean, I know they did this in Eve. Like, if you try to take off in a ship that's uninsured, they give you a ton of warnings. Like, yo, if
Are
you take
sure
off in
you
this
wanna do
ship and you get destroyed, you're SOL, man. So I'm sure there's going to be something like that in Star Citizen. I'm pretty sure there's going to be something like that in Star Citizen because it would suck to get out into space and just be like, all right, I'm going to fly over here and then I'm going to rubber band back and I'm going to, oh shit, and then hit something and lose my ship. And I didn't have insurance on my ship. So.
Or basically, what's the one common? Every one of you have seen happen. You load your ship up out on the docking bay, and you're like, wait, I don't have insurance on that one. But wait, you turn towards the window and you see some shit just explodes into your ship, and you're like, are we serious right now?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't think that that's going to be too common once the game is actually, the insurances actually start ticking, and the real money, or the money is actually money you have to pay. Because once you do that, not only are you going to lose a life, you're going to pretty much lose your insurance. They said that you're not going to be able to get insurance if you start doing stuff like that, because the insurance companies are going to see it as a huge risk. So you're not going to be able to do that, and you're going to lose your insurance. I mean, I think they're trying to minimize the amount of troll that is going on in the game with stuff like this.
It's going to be hard. But I mean, then again, the troll is also going to be very about blowing the $45 they just spent, or what have you, to start the game up, to make the game unplayable, just to do these stupid things. It might work well.
Or you spawn it and someone else takes off in it. Yes, that does happen a lot right now. I think they said that they're working on a way to kind of lock your ships right now. Because man, does that frustrate me. I can't take out my Starfarer right now. Like, I simply just, like, I look at the Starfarer, I'm like, oh, I wish I could take you out. But no, so if I spawn you, someone's going to try to steal you. Or someone's going to get in my ship while I'm starting to take off, and the second I leave the safe zone, they're going to shoot me in the back of the head while I'm flying the ship. So, I literally cannot take my Starfarer Gemini out. I just can't. It's impossible.
Well, they could
Because
create
that-
some kind of a system where, like, if they're going to be making NPCs that actually can be hostile towards certain people, in the safe zones like that, they could have, like, a possible patroller, or just, like, just a guy, NPC, the space station, and basically somebody tries, like, getting in your ship and they successfully do so, you can just, like, go on your ship and push, like, an alarm button or something, or whatever have you, and like the guy will just come into your ship and it's like, since it's your ship, he won't bother you, but anyone else in your ship will just get, like, it's like, are they in your party? Nope. They just walk up and just back. It's just like, that's the end of that. But
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty much.
I wouldn't think they could do that either, because it's like, if say you're like, oh, this ship looks cool, I didn't realize I was walking close and the guy got pissed and now I got shot in the head. Then it's like, well, no, that character's dead. It's, I don't know, it seems like they set a lot of boundaries for themselves. It's going to be hard to follow. But I mean, we'll see what they do.
Yeah,
'Cause, I mean,
kind
they
of.
might go back on their word and just kind of make it a little bit more simplistic, just because they
Yeah,
like, well,
That's certainly something I was talking about earlier, where I said Chris Roberts says that he's going to try to do a lot of things, but you got to take everything he says with a grain of salt. He says he'd like to try to do a lot of things. It doesn't mean he can do a lot of things. So maybe something like the permadeath thing, where your stuff goes to your next of kin, you become your next of kin or whatever. I mean, I don't really see kind of a point in it, because you're still going to be you. You're just going to be in like a different body. So I mean, it's pretty much just respawning anyway. They're just kind of trying to put like a lore behind it.
Yeah, I feel like he's just trying to make it very immersive. Like people that like playing role plays or Dungeons and Dragons or anything like that, and then the part where like when your character is dead, it's dead, and that's just the way it is. I guess it does kind of add a little backbone to the realism of the game, but at the same time, like if you want people to play this for long terms, it's not really that practical.
Yeah, because accidents are going to happen, right? I mean, it's unavoidable. Like,
No helmet, no love. Wait, no.
yeah, pretty much. That was my thing for the longest time. Now I just don't leave my armor, because
Right. Well, for the longest time, they made it so when you loaded in, you weren't in your armor. They changed it. No one knew about it. So it was like, oh, I'm just going to... Wait, what? Why did I die? They're like, oh, yeah, you start in your normal clothes now. What? When does that start?
well, that was kind of like the thing, was that before there was no persistence, so you always started in your EVA suit. And then they changed it, and all of a sudden you were starting in your normal clothing, and you had to change at the little closet there, or in your room, and you're like, you walked up to the door, even though there's a big red sign that says no helmet, no love, or something like that. I don't know, helmets required or something. You kind of just, it was so easy to ignore because you were more focused on hitting the button on the wall than you were at looking at the door.
Yeah, I think we were making jokes about that for the longest time. It was just like, you know, people who are so accustomed to that lifestyle, they would just wake up in the morning like, oh. You walk out into that little decompression chamber and you're like, wait, no. And then no one even bothers to stop it. It's just like, what happened to that guy? Oh, launched into space.
Third one this week, Jim.
Yeah. So we have a little suction system. It'll get them eventually. Damn.
But yeah, I mean, part of being in Test Squadron is accepting the fact that accidents are going to happen. I mean, I don't know, like, alright, so that's another thing. Me being a racer,
Ooh.
I'm going to crash my ship a ton. I'm going to die a lot.
So I was wondering if they're going to keep that all electronic access, or if it's just going to be like you have to go to the racing rink and race with your ship.
And risk dying. So,
yeah.
If the permadeath thing is a real thing and all that, either I'm going to have to get so good at racing that I never, ever, ever, ever crash, or kind of pussyfooted around the track so I don't, or they make it all electronic access and then kind of like seamlessly stream it in somehow, so it looks like we're actually there, but we're not. I don't know how that's really going to work. Because that's some crazy kind of tech I was just talking about right then. So yeah, if you guys have any questions for myself or racers are going to be the guys who look like Borgs before they die. Yeah, pretty much. If you guys have any questions for Mr. Caxton or I, we're going to open it up for the last 15 minutes or so of the stream. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I mean, this is the first one of the weekly shows. It's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern every Thursday. I mean, I'm trying my best. A lot of stuff fell through. We were gonna have 2 more guests, but things happened. What do you? Never mind. Yeah, look at the racer. What do you do? Oh, never mind. So I mean, so thanks for hanging out, guys. So we're opening it up for the last 15 minutes or so of this this session right here for people who have any questions about the game. What we Whoops.
What'd you do?
Thanks, thanks for the follow, because they lose wrath. I forgot to turn off alerts. Alright, so yeah, if you guys have any questions or whatever, feel free to ask up. Preface it with the, well, you don't even have to. There's not that many people in here right now, so I don't think there's going to be too many.
That'd be a dangerous ass thing in space. Like a damn Cthulhu just fucking in the space, and your ship goes near, just
Have you seen Knights of Sidonia?
Oh yeah.
Well, there's your Cthulhu in space.
Oh yeah.
What, Kaz, what is your favorite concept of Star Citizen?
Concepts? Like,
I'm guessing pretty much anything that isn't in the game yet that they said they're going to try to do.
the biggest hopes I have for basically lie on the planets and what kind of things you can do on the planets, really. Space is great and all. I mean, I'm definitely going to be all for that. But I mean, the biggest thing I've always like, the thing that made me stop dead in my tracks way back when, and I think this might have been in reference to No Man's Sky when it was in first development, was they were releasing footage at an E3 of a ship basically flying through space and then entering an atmosphere and then finally landing on it. And it was like, that just blew my mind. Like, you can do that in a game. And when we, you know, obviously when we get No Man's Sky, it was like, huh, it's cool, I guess. And now it's like, basically, feelings about 2.6 flight mechanics. But yeah, basically the thing I feel about the planets is actually being able to go down to a planet and explore the planet like a planet is supposed to be explored. Like, you might even be able to lay claim to certain parts of the planet. The planet's so big, you might be able to say, like, this little nook is my nook. This is where I land. This is where I live. This is where I hang out. This is where I do all my stuff. And, like, you know, someone else might come along and go, you know, oh, that's cool, I guess, but, you know, I'm going to try and take it from you and stuff like that. But, I mean...
This is my rock, and I love my rock.
Like, you might find a piece of randomly procedurally generated world that just looks awesome, and it's like people start fighting over it because it looks so damn cool. I mean, that's the kind of the aspect that I think No Man's Sky wanted to have, but it never happened because there's no other people that you can play it with. So why would anyone fight over anything?
Question. Not sure if Kaz races, but what are your feelings about the 2.6 flight mechanics?
Blinky would be a better answer for that one, but I race a little bit, and by race a little bit, I mean I race in my mini. I basically race in my Aegis Titan, Avenger Titan, so I kind of go really slow, but I mean I'm getting the hang of it, and when I get the hang of it completely, I'll upgrade to the actual racing ships and then try it that way. But I'm not exactly even sure what the 2.6 flight mechanics are gonna have.
Blinky, is your first name John? I don't want to kind of answer that. So, my name is Blinky. Alright, yeah, as far as 2.6 flight mechanics go, they're slowing all the ships down. They're slowing everything down. Which as a racer, sucks. You don't want to go slower. You want to go faster.
Well, how are they slowing things down?
They're slowing the ships down for dogfighting. They're slowing not the well, what they said is they're not slowing the afterburner down. They're slowing the SCM mode down, so that the dogfighting feels a little more fluid. There's less jousting, stuff like that. I'm okay with it for the dogfighting, but
In space combat.
But for racing, no. I like going 495 meters per second through checkpoints.
If they're slowing all the ships down, does that mean like the ship that you use is still going to be number one? But is everything being reduced across the board? Or just
Well,
certain
they're cutting
ships?
everything in half.
Oh god! You mean to tell me I'm going to be going 220 now? No.
220 is fast. Holy shit.
180. I'm going to be going 180 now at max speed with my boosters on. That's just Does anybody know what's the Saber's max speed rate?
With Afterburner or without?
Yeah, just as fast as it can go.
The fastest it can go, I believe, is 280. It's pretty slow.
Well, the Avenger Titan can go 340.
Hold on. I'm not sure actually. I think just max speed is 280. But with Afterburner, it might be like 340.
Mr. Potato, I'm not a big fan of the big ships. I mean, I definitely want to take part in the big ships, but I myself am more of I like the small ships that can do more. I like the more like dual compactness of them. Well, that's why I have the Avenger Titan, is because it has a bit of cargo, it can dogfight a bit, and it can take a little bit of a beating. I would upgrade to something that can just do all that stuff a little better. But
Think you're a freelancer?
Well, I mean, I like the idea of the freelancer, but I did take it out for a spin, and it is very clunky and hard to kind of maneuver. Which, I mean, I felt like I had tons more ability with the Titan, like beyond belief. Like I felt like it was the difference between flying a submarine and flying basically like a scooter. That's the difference in how it felt. Like, we're in the submarine.
Yeah, it is kind of like a space submarine. It looks a little bit like a Donger
just
too.
like, well, like that.
I don't know what it is with me and Dongers today, but I keep talking about them. I need to stop. All right. Well, my favorite ship right now. Yeah, you have the Drake Cutlass. Have you considered that one?
Maybe I should take a look at it actually. And I know I missed my chance. Sunday was my last to take a look at it, but I might have enough Rector in it, so I'll take a look at that.
Yeah, the Cutlass is actually a pretty good all-arounder. Now my favorite ship, released and unreleased. My favorite released ship right now, probably the Connie Andromeda, just because the stuff you could do with it. I mean, the modularity of the weapons, you could put some crazy weapons on that thing. The cargo space is going to be pretty good. It's not going to be the best cargo space, but you can fit a good amount of stuff in there. It's a multi-crew ship, so you can have a bunch of friends on there with you. You can fly it solo if you need to. It's all around, it's probably one of my favorite ships. Now, unreleased, or do you mean like ships that have been concepted that aren't flight ready? If that's the case, well, obviously I'm going to say Polaris. The Polaris, in my opinion, is one of the coolest ships that Star Citizen has really, or not Star Citizen, but CIG has really concepted. I mean, it's a capital ship, right? But it's fast, so it's not really going to be the same kind of gameplay as your Idris or your Javelin. So you're going to be able to get in and get out, much like a fighter would, except you're going to be much bigger. You're going to have a bigger payload. Now, granted, if you're fighting like fighters, the entire gameplay is going to change, because you're not going to be the fastest thing on the block anymore. Because while you're big, so you're going to have these little pesky 22-meter Gladiuses buzzing all around you. And it may change things, but when I'm talking like capital ship to capital ship combat, this thing's going to be the thing you want to be in. Now, if you see a Polaris and you're a single fighter, you're not going to want to go near it, especially if you don't really have like any support or like a huge payload of something like a Retaliator or a Gladiator. I mean, while one Gladiator could probably do decent damage to the Polaris, it's not going to be like the most intimidating thing to a Polaris. Because it could probably take 2 of the torpedoes and still keep going. Depending on where it gets hit, obviously. But man, I don't know. The Polaris is just the ship itself is going to be really, really cool. And it's a beautiful, beautiful ship. And it is right behind my head. There it is. Polaris. But yes, I do like the Idris as well, Mr. Potato. It's another one of my favorites. I do like the large capital ships. It just brings a whole nother level of gameplay. Kind of like, there was a game I really enjoyed called Guns of Icarus. It kind of reminds me of Guns of Icarus a little bit, when you're on a capital ship in Star Citizen, or a large multi-crew ship. You got that one, Kaz?
Are they adding housing?
No, he's asking you. What do you think?
I mean, I would like it if they added housing, but I mean, are they adding housing? Is that something that they were wanting to do?
I don't think I've heard anything about it, but I mean, I would love to have housing in Star Citizen. Even if you could make your own on like maybe a not so populated planet, just like a little like just not make it, but kind of get
live
like
in the fucking boonies. I want to live in the damn boonies. I want to be like
Yoda.
Uncle Owen on Tatooine. Yeah,
I know we have our hangars. Yeah, we do have our hangars that we'll be able to place in landing zones. Actually, today they posted a picture of one of the landing zones on Earth. I think it was Beijing. I gotta find it, but Blackhawk, why your name gotta be so long?
But I'm curious as to how, like, say for example, you can get a home and you can place it anywhere you want on a planet. That'd be a cool concept, in my opinion. Say you're gonna mine somewhere and you want to live close to where you want to mine, and you could actually stock. You can actually store some of the stock at your home, and all you gotta do is just take your shit by your home, and then you can just simply load it in. Which I'm still curious as to how things are gonna load, because I mean, let's be real. Are you just gonna say load in objects and they all just go blink into the ship, or you actually have to manually do it? So there's a lot of questions and a lot of theories of how things are gonna work.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to be it for the very first episode of Citizen Showcase. Kaz, before we go, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where they can find you, and say goodbye to everybody.
Basically, my channel is pretty much, I do like fantasy-based games, a little bit of dark games like Bloodborne, soon to be Dark Souls. Name's just right up in the corner, Kaxxyn, Kaxxyn. I also have a YouTube that I'm kind of starting, but it's basically working off my Twitch. I'm putting a lot of highlights from Twitch onto there, and any like solid playthroughs I'm doing. But a lot of things to look forward to there is basically the new Final Fantasy's coming out, stuff like that. Yes, Dark Souls 3, I'm going to try and get good at it. Get good. I already played Bloodborne, and I think I'm not too horrible at it, but I have my fair shares of dying. But that's about it with that, really. And I mean, I'm going to try and do some streaming of Star Citizen once I can actually go on a planet and stuff, just to see what I can find.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out, guys. If you enjoyed the show, hit the follow button. Also, you can find me on Discord as well. I do a lot of Star Citizen streaming. I do a lot of racing. Sometimes I do kind of stray off the beaten path. We did some Magic the Gathering unboxings the last couple of streams, so I've been doing that.
Lucky bastard.
As a bit of entertainment. Kaz has called me a lucky bastard because I got a bunch of mythic rares. The last 2 times I did some unboxings. Also,
Mostly the one.
Huh?
Mostly the one card you got.
Oh yeah. I do have a event that goes on every Tuesday called Tiered Tuesday, where the amount of followers, viewers, tips, subscriptions, and everything that goes on makes the prize grow exponentially. Also, we have coming up on the subscriber Tiered Tuesday, I will be giving away a Samsung Gear VR to my subscribers. Right now we only have 4, so the more subscribers we have, well, the worse chance you have, but the better chance you have of getting one, because if you're not a subscriber, you can't win. And that's pretty much it. So guys, thanks for hanging out. We're gonna give someone a host right now. So let me see who is streaming right meow. And we will do a nice little raid. Yeah, Tiered Tuesdays. What do you mean you still don't get the name? Like, it's tiered because every time you guys hit a goal, the goal or the tier of the giveaway will go up. So it'll be like $10 Star Citizen gift card, $25 Star Citizen gift card, $50 Star Citizen gift card, $100 Star Citizen gift card, just depending on how crazy you guys go. All right, so Witch Kitty is streaming right meow, so we're gonna go give Tired Tuesday. All right, so we're gonna give Witch Kitty a host. Guys, if you have not seen her, she's a really cool chick. She's playing Darkest Dungeon right now, which is a pretty cool game. It's a really, really depressing game, but it is a lot of fun to watch. So head on over there, give her a dupe from me. She'll know exactly what it is, and I will see you guys tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern is my normal stream time. So thanks for hanging out. Thank you again, Kaz, for joining me tonight. It was a lot of fun, and I will see you all tomorrow.